All aboard! Well, hello and welcome to me build of the PECO wonderful wagons, tarmac 5-plank wagon, and here we are. It's a very old boxing. Cost me £3 at my local preservation society. I bought a big stash of kit wagons and it worked out at about £3. Those are the instructions, which I totally ignored. I looked at them after I'd finished, really. I did video them though for the video. But you know, I'm a typical bloke, I ignored them anyway. And there you are, it has a nice rough drawing, engineer's drawing of the parts. And these kits consisted of a cardboard overlay. It's embossed, so you have the embossing of the metal side pieces and the planks, and you have the printing. It was quite a good idea, really, because they could have, there we have a die cast body that the planks go onto. I'm cutting it open because there's parts inside it. But they were a good idea. They could use one chassis for the actual model and have minimalist build up, and it was a cheap way of doing it rather than tampo printing. And here we are. The die-cast chassis with the metal W axles on it. Like, you just push them in and they fold over. And I'm choosing to super glue. Later on I read the instructions recommend you melt the plastic tags on the inside of the wagon with a soldering iron. But that weren't really an issue for me. I just super glued them on. Good as anything. You've got to remember, when these kits were designed, super glue wasn't a thing. So the best thing they'd have had at that time was the method they recommend, melting the actual stubs inside the wagon. That'd have been the proper, probably the most secure way, because the glues available weren't that good. And I'm assembling the underneath, the brake hangers, brakes, the rods, the brake levers, just assembling it up and putting buffers on. Like, they're pretty good, metal buffers. Next thing I'm doing here, I'm cutting off the springs, because they have working suspension, and the axle springs, once you clip them into the W irons, they work as suspension. You'll probably see in a bit. I'm there clipping one of them in. Tell you who and all that. Tell you, Biggles. Catch me a hun and I'll be back for you to smoke me a kipper and all that stuff. Be back in a minute, I'm just off camera. trust me to have the one bit I didn't cut out. There you are, we're back again. For a second, oh, we're off again. Oh, off again. Anyway, there we are, we're roughly together. And next, we'll do some painting black areas in. I scraped it off the wheel later, but it's just scrubbing the black painting areas. The under chassis. There we go. Doing the wheels, I could have probably done them before I put them on, but hey ho. And we go in for a second course after. There you are, because the first it hadn't fully covered. But here we go, doing the inside. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm putting a load in it. Anyway, but... And there what I'm doing, I'm drilling it out to 1.7. So I can... I actually tapped it out to 2mm for an M2 screw to put a coupling on. I may change these, they're not brilliant couplings. Or I may even put an NEM pocket on it, I don't know. See what happens. Well, they're not brilliant couplings, so they will be changed. But for now, we ride with what we have. Anyway, that's the inside painting. It's not perfect. Doesn't have to be, because there's a load going in it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But there we are, there's where we have the basic assembly and basic painting. So now we start and just taking it that little bit further with the load and a bit of weathering. Not hugely weathered, but a bit. And a lot of weathering I did, it was to take away the full black look and also to bring out some highlights, so it brings out detail to... What you're looking at is, when you're modelling, is have a large gap on tone. So you have dark shadows and light highlights, but nothing's ever true black and nothing's ever fully white, but you just have a good gap in contrast so you can see the details. It brings them out, and you can put a few colours in there, but I've worked to a minimum palette on this one, so there's not a huge palette. I think I used, what were it, wait a minute, I think I used a brown, a black and white, and even then it were only minimal, like dry brushing, just to bring out details and stuff. But here I'm using some Uhu glue, German. Uhu means owl, so it's owl brand basically. And there I'm using some Javis coal, Javis Scenics from Stockport. A very old model railway name. They've been, in a lot of ways, they've been taken over by, well, not taken over, but Knock and Woodland Scenics have become the most popular brand. But Javis were the old British name in Scenics. For model railways, they were pretty good. Some of this stuff, I think they're catching up gradually. But here I've already put on the black, and here I'm putting on like a muddy colour as a dry brush. Oh, up a certain degree of the bottom bullets, so you have a bit on the bottom end of the wagon. So you get it. It's just to bring out the details and have them standing out. As you can see as you're doing it, you're bringing out some of the details. And I'm going to put a white over top of that because that's the basic colour I want. And the lettering were too white. You'd have never had it that clean on an earning service wagon. So I did it, you'll see, I don't know whether I got it on camera, but I did a dry brushing, just stroking downwards of black, just to take the newness off the white lettering. Weathering's really is about minimalistic, and I give it a light dry brushing of white, so it brought out the edges so your eyes can see them. Like as it were black, you didn't see them bands and everything that are embossed in. You didn't see them that well because it was all black, and it was on a matte surface, so they didn't show up that well. And the black had have faded anyway, so a dry brushing of white also gives fadedness to the black. Well, it looks the business. It'll look nice on a train now. Whether it's one or two wagons or a big line of wagons, it'll look good in a load of them. The only thing that let them down was because a lot of the chassis were nylon. The brake rod there is twisted. But then and again, in real life, they got twisted as well, so where do you go? Anyway, if you've enjoyed watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It'll be wonderful to have you along. To all my long-term subscribers, thank you for sticking with me. It's great to have you along. And all I can say now, people, is tatty pie, everybody. Tatty pie.